You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Welcome to the inaugural Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival. It's all things coffee, culinary, and culture.
This coffee festival is absolutely phenomenal. It is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger every year.
We have some coffee product infusion with coffee fried dumpling, coffee bame. We have coffee rice and peas, roast fish.
I've been to festivals in other countries and it's world class. I like the quality, I like what I'm seeing.
Everything today was great and I'm looking forward to it for next year.
It's the inaugural Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival, and BATV is here to bring you highlights from day 2 of a 3-day event which is already off to a great start at promoting the world's best music, food and coffee right here in the cool hills of Newcastle in St. Andrew. I'm your host, Andrew Laidley, and I'll have the highlights, so stay with us. Much more after this.
Welcome to my constituency, Mikasa Sukasa. All right. Now, as you can see, this coffee festival is absolutely phenomenal. It is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger every year. We made sure that the roads, well, they told us the Queen was coming. They didn't realize it was the coffee festival that was coming. The roads are wonderful all the way up to red light. And by the time we come back here next year, we will have beautiful roads all the way to Newcastle to ensure that your experience is fabulous. Minister, I have to thank you. I have to thank the Ministry of Tourism for that particular insight in understanding that for the coffee farmers to do well, we have to move from just thinking about coffee as a drink. We have found the man who understands networking, tourism, and marketing a product that we want to move from just being our wonderful Blue Mountain coffee to the legendary Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee.
Coffee, as you know, is the second most consumed liquid on earth. More than 70 countries across the world utilize coffee for various applications. We in Jamaica seem to have locked ourselves into coffee for export. But there are so many other applications, economic value that we can derive from the use of coffee in so many forms. This morning I read that coffee, in fact, can make flour. So you can make coffee now, coffee cake, of course, which you all know about. But you can make your coffee cookies that you all know about. But now you can make coffee dumpling. The point we're making is that there are numerous other applications. It is now possible for us to create a huge coffee value chain, and from it, the coffee cottage industries. So that exhibitions like these, which we're promoting, and we're doing it with a lot of energy, is not going to provide a showcase of coffee beverage and an opportunity for tasting and for the world to recognize, in fact, that we have the best coffee in the world. But it's also an opportunity for us to create a value chain that will bring jobs and more economic well-being to a larger number of our Jamaican people who are in the interior and who, because of where they live, lacking in urbanity as it exists, still have the opportunity to generate income and to stem the drift from the rural areas into the urban areas seeking jobs. So tourism is that centerpiece that drives jobs and inclusive growth. And part of what we're doing is to create a strategy that not only brings visitors to our shore, but to enable the expenditure from visitor arrivals to remain in the destination of Jamaica. Jamaica now has a retention of only 30 cents in the dollar, although that is 10 cents higher than the rest of the Caribbean, and only 20 cents below that of the highest performer in the region, the Dominican Republic. But we must build out that capability because that's how we're going to be wealthy from tourism. Finally, I want to say, located as we are here, and this Newcastle is a perfect place for it to be.
So I'm here with Adam Stewart. He's the chairman of the Tourism Linkages Network. Talk to me a little bit about the inaugural Blue Mountain Coffee Festival that's happening here today.
Well, it's kind of hard to beat this, right? So we decided when we're going to do this, we're going to celebrate the best attributes of Jamaica, what Jamaica is naturally good at. You know, Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee is something that we almost take for granted in many instances. It's voted world's best as the highest grade coffee, celebrated all around the world. And what we wanted to do was find a way to expand the image of the Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee. So locally to Jamaican citizens, so we create more of a coffee culture in the country of Jamaica. To the purchasing teams in, you know, the network is a division of the Ministry of Tourism. So all of the purchasing divisions of the hotels across the country, so that we're getting Blue Mountain Coffee in the hands, whether it's in the suitcases in the exported coffee that they take home, or they're tasting it in the hotels themselves. The idea was to put on a festival that everybody could come to. I have about 50 people here from Sandals, and it's amazing. Every single one of my team members that I've asked so far, if they've been up here to the JDF camp up in the Blue Mountains, not one has said yes. So we live in Jamaica. There are things about Jamaica that we don't even explore as yet, and they're having the time of their life. So you have the vendors here showcasing all of their products: coffee scrubs, coffee candles, coffee infused products that you put on your skin, the actual coffee cakes. We had a coffee dumpling a while ago, a flour dumpling, coffee rice and peas. I never seen that yet in my life. And these are wares that the ultimate goal here is that people are trading, people are selling, our visitors are feeling it. So we get them into the hotel, they enjoy it, they go back home, they go on the website, and we just start exporting products out of Jamaica in a way that, you know, we think of coffee as just a drink, but it is so much more than a drink and can become so much more than a drink.
Now, I know that outside of your role as chairman in the Linkages Network, you are also a member of the private sector here in Jamaica. How important would you say it is that private sector members come on to projects like this and really encourage it?
Well, private sector is what drives the economy, and that's what we have to remember, right? So the government puts a framework around policy, but it is actually the private sector trading that, you know, gets the economic dollars turning, spins off the taxation, which, you know, allows us to do all of our infrastructure and investments for the country. So, you know, without private sector, there are no economics. Without economics, people can't afford to live, and they can't afford to, you know, to rise to the prosperity that we're trying, all of us in our own way, to get Jamaica to rise and matriculate to a higher standard of living. So, you know, the message here today is simply trade, do business, formalize yourself into the tax net for sure, and just get business flowing in a way that people naturally fall in love. The interesting thing is that the product that it is that we're talking about is something people naturally love when they're exposed to it. Either whether they're drinking the coffee, or they're putting the scrubs on themselves, or you're smelling the candles. These are all things that immediately you look at somebody's face and you don't have to sell it to them. They love it as it is. So we're just showcasing it, marketing it, and then hopefully trade comes behind that.
We take a break and come back with much more from the inaugural Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival. Stay with us.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Your business
business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Now here's more highlights from the inaugural Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival. I'm now joined by Minister of Tourism, Edmund Bartlett. Minister, it's the inaugural Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival. Talk to me about the plans that went into this festival.
Well, first of all, the notion of a coffee festival flows from the fact of utilizing our cultural assets as a means to drive visitor arrivals into our country. But it also goes to a deeper value of bringing to the forefront of the consciousness of all of us as Jamaicans the power and the value of these cultural assets and the extent to which we have not been utilizing them sufficiently to bring economic value to ourselves and to cause the prosperity to come. And so this festival is therefore an intention for us to celebrate all things coffee, for us to look at what coffee is really capable of doing, the deep and wide value chain of coffee, that it is not just an export crop, a commodity for value added to be attached to another country somewhere else, but that it is a part of an asset with enormous capability for spin-offs. That there are so many applications to coffee that if we get it right, we can develop a whole industry around coffee.
Minister, I understand that the government has started an Eat Jamaica campaign. Talk to me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, well, you know, the Eat Jamaica campaign has been on and on and on and on. And we have to do something more practical, like producing enough to be able to eat. But part of what we need to also do is to change our consumption patterns. Because Jamaica's staple is still imported goods, rice and flour and grains. So we need to look seriously at our consumption patterns, because that's a big way in which Eat Jamaica is going to be truly meaningful, is when we are having a taste for Jamaican goods and Jamaican assets.
Minister, I want to talk to you a little bit about what happened last year with Jamaica losing what was regarded as one of its major trading partners. I believe it was Japan. Are we shoring up the sector now by having a festival like this?
Well, no. Well, look, the global market has changed, and we have to respond to it. And one of the things that keeps you on the cutting edge is nimbleness and adaptable. You have to be adaptive, because the market is going to change because it's a function of human action. And so we have to be always doing more with what we have so that we can be ahead of the curve every time there's a change. So now we need to look at how we can make coffee far more effective on the market for us, not just now as beans that we produce for another country to process, but how do we do the conversion ourselves and then to enable the other applications which will deepen and broaden the value chain.
Talk to me about some of the preparation that went into this.
Well, it was quite exciting to have this. You know, we really wanted to have it here in the Blue Mountain, so we partnered with Newcastle. I mean, it's quintessential Blue Mountain. We work with all the partners, both those on the other side close to the Gordon Town as well as those on the Newcastle side, and really just decided to showcase everything coffee, but also to celebrate everything that is the Blue Mountain. So, you know, we have great cafes and restaurants and bars all along the way, but we also have some great attractions. So we're combining everything. We have very very good culinary experiences. We have some really great restaurants, and we've brought everything into one place, and everyone can experience it. The beauty of the views of the Newcastle, but also the history of the Newcastle, and then putting everything together so that persons can really have a fantastic time.
Now, I know that the government is placing greater emphasis on gastronomy. What can we expect out of the gastronomy tourism area come this year?
Well, definitely, you know, we have launched our Taste Jamaica website and app, and we're going to continue to partner with other persons in terms of raising our food festivals to the next level. We'll be looking at opening up other gastronomy centers, as we had Devon House as our first across the island. So it's an ongoing project, but most importantly, it's education, letting Jamaicans understand the wide length and breadth of gastronomy tourism and how they can capitalize on that using indigenous Jamaican products and making really good tourism experiences, not only for overseas visitors, but for locals who are here on the island. Because you know, you're still a tourist if you move from one area of the island. So we want to make sure that everybody experiences everything fantastic about our cuisine at all levels, and to excite persons to create new and different and exciting Jamaican products.
I'm now joined by a coffee farmer, Mr. Mervyn Hibbert. Talk to me about the festival today. What has it been like?
It has been a great festival. Owing to the fact that I am a small coffee farmer, and what I see today is great, and I believe that more farmers should have been here, and more Jamaicans should be here to witness this festival of our own Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee. I also view that a lot of visitors was here, and I see they are all full joy themselves. Everything today was great, and I'm looking forward to it for next year.
Is there anything that you think the government can do to enhance the festival come next year?
Well, what I think the government should do, they should put a bigger input in it, okay? And to help to do something to help we the struggling farmers based on what is reached us as coffee farmers now. Because, you know, our venture is very expensive, okay? So if we can get some reduction like in farm tools, fertilizers and things like those, it will be great, it will be helpful for us at this time.
Hypro being here today, maybe many folks may want, Hypro at a coffee seminar. Everybody know Hypro to be a company that sells feed and chicken. But over the years, Hypro has integrated the operations, and we now have an agronomy department at Hypro, where we sell a wide cross-section of pesticides, meaning fungicides and insecticides, fertilizers for the coffee industry.
What do you think about the festival? What are your thoughts?
Well, for the first time, it's a great show. We get to interact with some of the stakeholders. We can showcase our products that we have at Hypro to control some of the major problem in the coffee industry.
I like festivals, and I've been to festivals in other countries, and it's world class. I like the quality, I like what I'm seeing, and I have a bit of love for coffee, so it's good to come and have experience so many different coffee products. And there are also other things, so it's really good. I'm enjoying it.
Chris, talk to me a little bit about your experience so far.
Oh, it's been wonderful so far to be able to come up to the Blue Mountains and experience where the real coffee comes from in Jamaica. The people and all the events and stalls that have been held are pretty good.
You have a drink in your hand there. Where is that drink from?
Right there, sir. Island Blue coffee.
How is that?
Pretty damn good.
All right, thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
Appreciate your time, man.
It is truly a weekend of Epicurean excellence right here at the inaugural Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival, and I'm now joined by a few friends. Talk to me about the experience so far.
Oh, it's a great initiative. Although we live in Jamaica, we don't get to drink Blue Mountain coffee, and we're all from Japan, and Blue Mountain coffee is very famous there. So yes, we've always wanted to try.
What are you looking forward to?
Trying the local delicacy and different types of coffee. Yes, of this very beautiful location.
We're still here at the inaugural Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival, and we have much more for you coming up right after this break. Stay with us.
The Good Life, your trusted source
or useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Sundays at 4:30 p.m. It's all about Home Sweet Home. Get your half-hour dose of the business of real estate, from laws and concepts to reality, building, buying, or renting. Or what about trends in decor or renovations? Home Sweet Home will keep you up to date.
What has the feedback been like from some of the patrons here today?
Oh, it's been amazing. As a matter of fact, I was just walking through the marketplace and, everyone is having such a great time. They didn't expect this this evening. They're enjoying Taurus Riley. They've enjoyed the performances, the dancers from Dance Theatre Expressions. They enjoyed Charlestown Maroons. The food, the energy, the atmosphere. It's amazing.
What did the Tourism Linkages Network hope to take away from this festival today?
We have 36 booths, everything, coffee related, coffee infused, and coffee. Our mandate is to connect local suppliers of goods and services with the tourism industry, to introduce them to that expansive value chain that is tourism. And so with an event like this, we're working with the stakeholders in the Blue Mountains. We're working with, I'm sure you saw the signs coming up, the culinary trail. So we're working with the restaurants for that culinary experience. We're working with coffee farmers as well, so that they understand that their contribution to the coffee industry is more than just producing the beans. You understand? So essentially, we are trying to deepen our linkages on the agriculture side by working with farmers and also working with the businesses to create a wholesome, fulsome experience that locals and visitors alike can enjoy.
And what can we expect from the Blue Mountain Coffee Festival 2019?
Oh gosh, bigger and better. Of course, we want to continue to strengthen our partnerships with JDF, with Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries, RADA, JCRA. We want to work with all the coffee producers, the Cafe Blues, coffee traders, Cannonballs, Starbucks. We want to work with all of them, big and small, and just work to make the industry even better for all the players.
Cannonball Cafe is one of the first cafes in the Jamaica industry. We have been in business for over 14 years. We offer a wide range of products, from the most outstanding and delectable breakfasts to soups, sandwich, salads, lasagnas, crab backs, and of course, the unbelievable Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee, because without that, there is nothing else to be had.
Talk to me about how the festival here might boost your brand at Cannonball Cafe.
Well, it's definitely going to help us, because anything that we can do to raise the awareness of our Blue Mountain coffee can only benefit us. And we are so intrinsically steeped with our coffee culture here, and we want to get out to everybody in Jamaica how fabulous our coffee is, and the world actually, and what we can do and how talented we are with our coffee as well as all of our baked goods. It can only help us. It's a win-win for everybody.
What do you think about the state's idea to move out of the traditional drink-like use of the Blue Mountain coffee?
Well, we're already doing that, because we have it infused in our bread pudding. We have what we call a mini puff of heaven, which is an eclair with some coffee-infused French cream. We do coffee-infused brownies with a glacé sauce all over it. So we have a wide assortment. It's not just for drinking, but it's also for eating and consuming. Chocolate-covered coffee beans, you name it, we got it.
I'm here with Ras Jeremiah from the company Natural by Nature. Talk to me a little bit about your business here and what's going on.
Yeah, we have some coffee product infusion with coffee fried dumpling, coffee bame. We have coffee rice and peas, roast fish.
Well, let me ask you, this is the inaugural Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival. What do you think about it? What are your thoughts?
Up, thumbs up. 100% out of 100, yeah. And we have to keep on doing such cultural thing like this because Jamaica is a cultural island. We're full of culture, we're full of talent, so put it on.
Talk to me about your experience here today.
It's been fabulous. We as a social enterprise, our goal is to employ deaf people throughout the island. So we're excited today. Our baristas are working in 3 different tents with different partners. We're here today with Country Traders, which their brand is Coffee Roasters brand. We're also at Cannonball and Toyota with David Twyman's Coffee. So it's been great crowds. It's been a steady flow throughout the day, and I feel really good and excited for what next year holds.
How do you think the festival is helping to boost the local coffee industry in Jamaica?
Yeah, it's got to be positive because a lot of times people don't know how diverse coffee can be, how it can be used. So as they come here and see it on Copperwood Port, as a rub, or they see it as a pour over, they see it as espresso, they're going to see a barista competition later. It's just going to raise everybody's awareness and understanding of coffee.
How do you think the festival here will help to boost brand Cafe Blue?
That's a good question. I think it's not only about Cafe Blue. I think it's about Blue Mountain Coffee in general. From the fact that we are coffee farmers and we have actually utilized the product in many other ways to develop byproducts. As you can see, our chocolate covered beans, our chocolate infused coffee, and our coffee that we distribute all over. I think it's for everybody. I think this is a push Jamaica, not just about us as a brand as Cafe Blue. I think, of course, it will add to what we do, but listen, we're all about everybody that is brand Jamaica in general.
So talk to me about how you at Cafe Blue engage Jamaican farmers.
On the Cafe Blue side, we don't actually have direct contact with the farmers per se. It's more Coffee Traders, which is our mother company. That is the farming aspect of where we come from and where we were birthed out of, our brand. And what we do is we actually provide seminars for them. We actually have contacts that work with us directly that basically ensure that farmers at all times are managing their costs, which is most important, especially for them to reap the benefits of making sure that the coffee is sold at the best price, and also for them to be successful. All right, that is important. So we make sure that we educate them, which is the most important thing, and that we show them the techniques, we share with them, we make sure that they're involved in all aspects of the farming.
Third place is Toyota and Cannonball. Woo! In second place, my people, my coffee lovers, scoring, where are my points? 105 points. It goes to the man that made my lips feel good with that almond on the rim of the cup. Def Kid! Competition winner is Coffee Blue at 108 points.
That's it from us here at the inaugural Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival. Until next time, I've been your host, Andrew Laidley, and thanks for tuning in to Business Access TV. Serious about business. Yeah.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Have you ever stopped to observe how our modes of transportation have evolved over the years? We're talking about donkeys to carriages to cars, boats, trains, and aeroplanes. Simply put, today we have many ways to get around when we need to, and for this we ought to be grateful. Hello there. Thanks for making it Jamaica Magazine. As you may have guessed, in today's show we talk transportation. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Motorists, when driving on the road, here are some simple reminders. Look out for and extend courtesy to all road users. Give plenty of room to pedestrians, especially in wet weather. Drive slowly. No bother wet them up. Slow down when approaching a pedestrian crossing or school, and always be prepared to stop. Remember, a school zone is a 30-kilometer zone. Cut your speed. Drivers of large and slow-moving vehicles should always keep in the far left hand of a dual carriageway. Keep it simple. Drive left and pass right. These are just simple reminders of your road duties. Drive safely.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, September 20. Residents of Rock River and surrounding communities in Clarendon are now beneficiaries of a new health facility. The Rock River Health Center, a Type 1 facility, was officially opened on Wednesday. It will serve 15 communities in the northeastern side of the parish. Its construction was made possible through the collaborative efforts of the Clarendon Health Services, Food for the Poor, and an overseas donor.
The people of Rock River said to me, "We tired to trot with a little scratch to Chapelton and Maypen. We want our own." I'm glad that this happened. And when I move from here and come back, I want to see it clean and look nice.
The facility provides services such as antenatal, postnatal, curative, environmental health, child health, and family planning. The Rock River Health Center will operate Mondays to Fridays. Still on health, Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the dengue epidemic is a global and regional problem which has also impacted the country. There have been almost 2 million reported cases of dengue in Latin America and the Caribbean, and more than 700 deaths in the region over the past 7 months.
In Jamaica, we're feeling the effects of it. So we cannot use the same approach or the approach that we have used in the past. We have to adjust our approaches.
Dr. Tufton was speaking with JIS News recently following a vector control tour of sections of Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth. He explained that dengue is widespread throughout the tropics, with local variations arising influenced by rainfall, temperature, and unplanned rapid urbanization.
Places that were not normally a risk place are now risk factors. We have to ensure that we are more sensitized, the public, so people know what they need to do in their immediate environment. The hospital is sensitized, so if persons have symptoms, we urge and encourage them to go and seek medical advice so that they can get the appropriate levels of attention.
The vector control program will continue for the next 6 months island-wide to remove mosquito breeding sites and educate persons on preventative measures and treatment of dengue. The Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology has re-established the Jamaica Energy Council, JEC, effective last Friday. The JEC is a national decision-making body which sees to the continuity of policy and sustainable development of the island's energy sector. Portfolio Minister Fable Williams says the council will contextualize the energy situation in Jamaica by highlighting its importance to sustaining life and the achievement of Jamaica's economic goals.
The solution to Jamaica's energy problems requires all members of the society to participate, and all views and ideas are important. As such, as chairman, I will explore opportunities that will allow the public to be invited to send their suggestions and comments for consideration of the council. And where necessary, selected members will be invited to make their presentation to the council.
Subcommittees of the council will be established, which will include energy conservation and efficiency, renewable energy, petroleum advisory, and public engagement. The local government ministry has implemented several measures to eliminate the outbreak of major fires at the retirement disposal site in St. James. A new dumper truck to spread the covering material that is necessary to extinguish fires was handed over to the operators. A 28,000-gallon water tank, along with drainage pipes to facilitate the flow of water around the facility, was installed at the site. The measures were implemented as part of a multi-million-dollar redevelopment work in effect at the disposal site that is based in Granville. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie says the 1,500 meters of roadway leading to the disposal site will also be repaired, and a designated cell will be created to house tires dumped at the landfill.
The Jamaica Fire Brigade is here, and the National Water Commission, and a part of this new dispensation is the installation of 3 fire hydrants at separate points across the landfill to assist in case there's a fire.
Other equipment will also be provided to the staff to prevent the outbreak of fires. The Jamaica Civil Service Association in St. Ann will join forces with the Jamaica Environment Trust to remove garbage from 3 beaches in Discovery Bay as part of International Coastal Cleanup Day tomorrow. The global initiative is aimed at reducing marine pollution. President of the Jamaica Civil Service Association, O'Neill Grant, says the Coastal Cleanup Initiative forms part of the association's centennial anniversary celebrations.
We want to make this a signal event for the Jamaica Civil Service Association. We are celebrating 100 years this year, and we are doing a number of events that is going to highlight the work and the role of the Jamaica Civil Service Association, not just in matters of industrial relations, but in our wider communities during which we serve.
Mr. Grant was speaking at a recent JIS think tank in St. James. The JCSA beach cleanup will focus on the Scenic View, Old Folly Fisherman's, and Red Cross beaches in Discovery Bay, St. Ann. Up to 75 people are expected to participate. And finally, Jamaicans from all walks of life congregated at the University of the West Indies Chapel Mona on Thursday to pay their final respects to late medical doctor and statesman Dr. Kenneth Baugh. The throng of well-wishers spilled outside the halls of the chapel and into tents erected on the grounds, where they were able to watch the service of Thanksgiving on monitors provided. Governor General Sir Patrick Allen and Prime Minister Andrew Holness headed the list of dignitaries in attendance. Mr. Holness read the first lesson, while Leader of the Opposition, Dr. Peter Phillips, read the second lesson. Dr. Baugh's daughter Melanie remembered her father as a great man who gave of himself unselfishly and would drop everything to be there for his children.
His humility in public was the same humility he displayed in private. He never cared if he didn't fit in. He never sought fanfare. He only sought the road that was honest and right.
The former Deputy Prime Minister, who devoted 30 years of his life to public service, passed away on September 1. He was 78 years old. Dr. Baugh also served as Minister of Health, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator, and Member of Parliament. He was accorded an official funeral by the government. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
The following is brought to you by MOCA, the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency with kind support of NIA and USAID.
Criminal minds think they are cunning. The major organized crime and anti-corruption agency have them running. Your friend a shout, come here. Take time running. Are we ready for the ops? Drive up on your block. Step out now me block. Cyber take away your laptop. Pull up every lock. No evidence to drop. We put it in a cuffs and now we have the under. From your system you better look out fit. When you move corrupt better look out fit. Please say you get wet. Look out fit. Look out fit. Look out fit. From your system you better look out fit. When you move corrupt better look out fit. Please say you get wet. Look out fit. Look out fit. Look out fit.
The proceeding was brought to you by MOCA, the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency, with the kind support of NIA and USAID.
Did you know that the Jamaican railway system was the first to be open to traffic outside of Europe and North America? It was also the second British colony to do so after Canada. Unfortunately, our public passenger railway transportation service ceased operating in 1992. But today we have some good news. Plans are in place by the Jamaica Railway Corporation to revive it. Learn more next.
We see railroads all over the country, but have we ever stopped to think about what good they are? Other than a train or two passing by and days too infrequent to even remember. Asphalt is the not so new but most popular way of getting around the country. But before that development, Jamaica was known for the rail. A cutting-edge technology in our nation's earlier years, the railroad industry has done a great deal for the development of Jamaica. Come with us as we take a step back in time while traversing the metal tracks of our country.
The inaugural run of the railway in Jamaica actually took place on the 21st of November, 1845. However, the competition as to whether the Jamaican rail system or the Canadian system was the first in the Western Hemisphere outside of Europe and particularly Britain would have to deal with whether when the proclamation and the order to get the railway started, if you use that as the starting date, it's actually 1842 and not 45. The rail service became necessary in Jamaica after the abolition of slavery in 1838. You needed a replacement in the production cycle of getting sugar cane to the market, and a cheap means of transport was necessary, or became the necessary element as a replacement for cheap labor. And therein lies the rub as to why rail makes sense, not only then, but now in Jamaica.
Entrenched in the rich dirt soil of the land, the wheels of the railroad industry began to turn, and things were looking hopeful for the nation.
One of the fascinating things about rail, and this happened not only for sugar, but for banana, for bauxite, and for passenger service, is that the operating costs for carrying one coach is pretty much the same from a marginal cost standpoint as carrying 100 coaches. So you put together what is called a train consist that gives you an efficiency, bar none, when it comes to land transport in moving people or in moving goods from one point to the next over extended long distance. The economics of that make a lot of sense in cheaper transport costs. So who benefits? The consumer, the user, the commuter, the person who has to take goods from Kingston to Montego Bay, because the more you carry is the less it costs you. That translates to benefiting the final user of a product or a service, because they end up paying less in transport costs, which is a factor into that final price of the goods because of the use of rail service. There is also savings from less accidents. It is a safer means of transport than other land transport means. So it's not only less costly or the most cost-effective land transport, it's also the safest means of land transport. Our history and our record is that we actually is one of the safest railway in the world during our operation.
But something or things happened that shook the railroad industry as a form of public transportation. Maybe not forever, but for a period far too long to ever forget. For the wheels just stopped turning.
The operation ended because the use of rail for passenger service on a national scale was not as economic as it needed to be. And without subsidy, the corporation found it difficult to continue. The capital outlay for rail and the maintenance operation is significant and costly. And over time, we found ourselves, the railway found ourselves not being able to properly maintain its infrastructure. Passenger rail has not been in operation since 1990, but other operations such as cargo has been in operation.
April 16, 2011 witnessed the reinstatement of trains into the formal transportation system. According to that plan, a priority program of the ministry is the restoration of rail service, facilitating the movement of cargo and passengers, and the development of a rail-based tourism attraction tour.
Revitalization plan that we have will make significant economic development contribution to Jamaica. I know there are concerns about whether, like other public transport, it will have to be subsidized. No. We will operate a business model that requires no subsidy from government. We have studies that show that a link from Kingston to Montego Bay alone, nowhere else, just Kingston to Montego Bay alone, will add $100 million per annum to the GDP. That's separate and apart from the labor value added, which is another $5 to $10 million annually. All the ripple effect of the communities along the route that will be developed for tourism, the business case suggests that you make significant financial gains or benefit in those areas. The first revitalized component will be from Montego Bay to Appleton, and that in itself tells you what one of the main attractions is. It also opens up the Wise Fall, the South Coast, and a number of other attractions that are in the interior of the island. We kind of had lost that vision once. We have recognized that again, and we are therefore pushing full steam ahead to ensuring that the rail revitalization plan for Jamaica come on stream, take off, and that we'll be back on track with rail operation in the near future.
So, if you missed the train the last time around, don't worry, because pretty soon we'll be traveling the metal rails again.
On our roads, remember, take time, be courteous, drive good, walk good. Don't drink alcohol and drive. Don't drive tired or sleepy. Don't tailgate and don't overtake unless it is safe to do so. And always drive at a speed which will allow you time to stop quickly and safely. Let's keep it safe on our roads.
While plans are underway to get the passenger railway system up and running again, more and more Jamaicans are opting for a mode of transportation that provides greater independence and personal mobility. Motor vehicles, such as cars, vans, buses, or trucks, are undoubtedly the most popular options of getting around these days. And guess what? There's a high school in Jamaica that is teaching its students how to drive their own.
Like any typical high school students,
We do the arts.
We also do the sciences.
And business.
Here at Jonathan Grant High School, there are 4 of us who also do driving ed.
School zone, school zone, school zone, school zone, school zone.
Good morning, Miss Clark.
Good morning.
Miss Clark.
Good morning. It's another episode of School Zone, and as you can see, we're journeying with the students of the Driving Ed program at the Jonathan Grant High School. Right now, we're joining them at one of their driving training areas in Eltham Park, where we're going to witness firsthand what one of their classes is all about. But before we begin, let's learn some more about the program.
At Jonathan Grant High School, we pride ourselves in being innovative and creative. And so as a result of that, we decided that we were going to try with our students to ensure as many as possible to leave our institution with a driver's license. And as part of that, we wanted to ensure that all students leave with TRN as well. So the driver's license experience was part of that package. And so we decided to roll it out to students who are at age 17. And so we managed to enroll about 5 or 6 students. We wanted more, but 5 or 6 students came forward. And so as a result of that, the Driving Education 101 was rolled out. The trainer, Mr. Frank, his wife, former vice principal of this institution, he does this for a living. And so when we came up with the idea for the program, he's the first person that came to my mind. I sat down with him and spoke with him, and they decided to give us a package which I believe was reasonable. The school decided to put up front the amount charged by Mr. Frank for 3 students, and then the others pay. I'm hoping that come next school year that the program will be bigger. We can have at least 10, 20 students in the program, and no doubt I'm going to seek some funding from elsewhere. All the students in the program are in the upper school, grade 10, 11, 12, 13. They're on the afternoon shift, which starts at 12. So they'll go to Mr. Frank at about 9 o'clock in the mornings.
We pick them up at school, take them to the location where we have the obstacle to training, and then we time them as one finish a time, they shift over to the wheel, another one take over, and we go through the process. We do the pre-driving inspection, where you check your documents, know the expiration of your documents, check on your engine to know the oil level, the fuel level, water level, and so on. Then we do the engine, the tire check and the lights to make sure they know when they are functioning. After going through that, then we introduce them to the vehicle, where they know the controls, the name of the controls, the usage. Following that, then we go through the forward driving. As soon as they are comfortable with the forward driving, we do some turn, left and right turn, and some stops and moving off. After they are comfortable with that now, then we introduce unit 2, which is reverse. When we introduce reverse, first we're going to introduce them how to do straight reverse. As soon as they are comfortable with the straight reverse, then we do the left hand back up. Left hand back up out of the road and come to the left side. As soon as they are comfortable with the left side, we go to the right side. And real life situation that helps them to take the car out of the driveway to put it out on the road and to do the left and right back up. After they are comfortable with that now, then we introduce them to the S-bend. And what is the S-bend now? As the name suggests, that prepare them like they are in a parking lot and they are learning how to maneuver without touching the other vehicles in the lot. As soon as they are comfortable with that, then we introduce them to the parallel parking, unit 3. And parallel parking is like a parking between 2 vehicles on the sidewalk, left and right hand side. That's it. Okay, so we line up with the first marker there, then full lock to your left. Good, and then you straighten your wheel. And you notify the examiner to finish by blowing your horn or tooting your horn. Now we are exiting the parking area. Okay guys, so that is it for today's practice. Well done, I'm proud of you all.
Yes, well done. Hey, hey, hey.
Ready. Hi Jamaica, we are the first batch of students from the Jonathan Grant High School to be a part of the Driving Ed program. You're watching School Zone.
Safety and confidence are two crucial components of this driving course. So how can we achieve that? By listening to your instructor, adhering to your road rules / road code, be aware of your surrounding, and be confident in what you're doing.
So we've made our way back to the school campus, and right now we're going to be speaking to the 5 lucky students of the Driving Ed program. We're going to be asking them about their thoughts on the course.
We decided to do this program because it is essential and it's a skill that we'd love to have in the future, and it is very beneficial to us as students to learn how to drive because, as you know, we're 6th formers and we'll be going to colleges, and learning to drive and getting our license at the end of the course means taking a next step, like buying a car and driving to school.
I was a little excited knowing that I'll be learning how to drive. Even though I was learning before, my dad taught me a little about driving before. But during each lessons, I've learned a lot more. For example, learning the left hand back up, the right hand back up. And I didn't really know how to do the parallel parking. So I've learned a lot since then.
The exam basically is split into 3 different sections. You have the written test, the on-ground test, and the road test. So the written test is broken down into mechanical and road code, which I really had a problem with the mechanical because you have more than one correct answers, and when you think you know, sometimes you don't. So I was really nervous when it came down to that, but I passed, so that means others can too.
Learning to drive is not a right, it's a privilege, and once you are afforded that privilege, then I believe that you should make the best of it.
My mother's thought, actually, she was and still is excited about the program because she sees it as something that will help me to further my future.
My name is Hortense Wellington and I'm Elian's mom, and I'm so enthused about him doing this program. It is a big achievement on his part and I'm really, really proud of him. And I'm also proud of the program for allowing them this opportunity to excel in this venture. He has big dreams of owning his own trucking company, so this, having his license, will enable him to venture out on that dream of his.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wellington. And this is such a fitting way to end the program for today. Thank you so much for joining with us. If you want to watch this program all again, simply visit our website, jis.gov.jm. And if you think you have what it takes to be featured in School Zone, email me at sclark@gis.gov.jm. I'm Sandra Clark, reminding you that
we got our license and you can too. Drive good.
What kind of ESN paper this?
I'm a birth certificate.
You what?
Birth certificate.
Hold on. Let me help you.
Where are you?
Me apply for your birth certificate online on the RGD website. Your lucky things improve and get easy now. This didn't have any security feature. All your granny could have write this.
Transformation is happening across the public sector. Many services are now available online. We are building a better public service for all. Brought to you by the Transformation Implementation Unit.
This is the final stop in today's magazine. Thanks for journeying with us. To watch today's program again, simply visit our website, jis.gov.jm. Don't forget that you're able to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm Audrey, reminding you to never let yesterday take up too much of today. Walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, delighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
On this episode of Chill Spot, we'll be spending some time with Roberto Gallardo, Managing Director at Celebration Brands Limited. He'll be showing us his favorite pastimes, which include running and then chilling at Cafe Da Vinci, a classic Italian-style restaurant in the heart of Kingston. So don't go anywhere, more after this. Hi Roberto, I'm Candy.
Hello Candy, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So what are we going to be doing today?
Well, we will have some run today.
We're going to run?
Yes.
Not for long, right?
A little bit, like 5 kilometers, something like that.
So that's a 5K. That's
Yes,
what
5K,
people call a 5K.
yeah.
I'm not looking forward to that. But then we're going to eat after that.
Yes, a little
Where are
bit.
we going to be eating?
I like the Italian food. We will have Cafe Da Vinci.
Okay, great. So let's talk about this run though. How long have you been running?
Since 5 years ago, I start to make some training and
Right.
try to race some competitions.
Okay, so does
Yeah.
that mean you're running professionally now, or are you just still doing it kind of
No,
leisurely
it's not
just to keep
professional,
fit?
but at least get the medal from some races, yes.
So what's the most recent race?
Well, the last one was the Miami half marathon. I ran there.
What about the Reggae Marathon out here? You did that
I
one?
ran the half marathon in here in Jamaica, in Madrid.
So did you place?
I get the medal.
You got a medal, and
I
that's
get
what
the medal.
counts.
Yeah, that's the main game
Right.
here. Yeah, actually a very good experience. It's the first time that I actually ran in this type of heat.
Right.
And,
Yes, it's tough,
and
man.
it was tough, but at the end, like I said, the main game is to finalize, get your medal, and
Right.
the satisfaction that you get because you have to train.
What are the benefits of running now? And like how we're going to be running for so long, tell me what I need to do to prepare for a run like that.
Well, it helps you not just your health. You can clear your mind when you have the run, when you have that experience. You can think, what do you need to improve? What do you need to change?
Right. So are there other ways that you work out? Do you go to the gym or do you just?
I normally go to the gym, but if you ask me my passion, it have the run.
Run.
Yeah.
The running.
Yes, yes.
All right. So do we have to stretch and warm up before we run?
Definitely. Well, first of all, we need to tighten our shoes.
Okay. I tied mine already. I tied mine already, so I'm ready. But let's
Okay.
go.
Okay,
Let's go.
perfect.
So I take it that run was easy for you since you don't seem like you're out of breath. No. And I'm dying.
It's a good run. It was a good run.
Okay, so the most important thing after a run is to hydrate, yes?
Yes, definitely.
All right, so we're going to be getting some food now.
Yeah.
And we're going to be meeting up at Cafe Da Vinci.
Perfect.
All right, great.
Okay, good job.
Thank you. Coming up.
Would you say you love your job?
Yes, definitely.
There's no work without passion, right?
Yeah, definitely. You need to have that because if not, you will not achieve results. That's a fact.
Hello, my name is Blake Widmer. I'm the co-founder of Def Can Coffee. The exposure that we had to the just general community through Business Access TV itself is awesome. It was a big deal for them, you know, having BATV come here, and we spent, I mean, we were with you guys for probably 4 hours that day. It was a long time. We really appreciate your guys' openness to recognize that, yeah, captions are important. If a deaf person's watching it, how are they gonna understand what's being said? So looking back is just a big boost, encouragement for our team. If you're a business or an organization that wants to have yourselves featured on BATV, or you want to do advertising with BATV, what I would tell them is that you guys listen well and you ask good questions, and that will help at the end of the day deliver a really good product for your business too.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Every day you wake up, you have another opportunity to make this little island better, safer, a place where we all can be proud to call home. It's time we all recognize that every little thing we do has an impact on the Jamaica we live in now and the country we're leaving for our children. So promise me this, promise yourself this: no more will we tolerate criminals, even if it's our relatives. Tell them they're doing something wrong. Tell them to stop. Tell them no more robbing our children of the Jamaica they deserve. Tell them no more crime.
Hi again, Roberto.
Hello, Candy. How are you?
Hi, it's good to see you.
Good to see you. Okay.
So we're going to be having Italian food.
Yeah, I love it.
Tell me a little about this restaurant.
Well, actually, I find this restaurant since 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
But I like the food.
You like the food?
Yeah, I like very good.
What's your favorite thing on the menu?
Any type of pizza.
Pizza?
Yeah, I like the pizza, yes.
The pizza here is good.
Yeah. You want something to drink?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
so you're the managing director at CBL. Tell us what that entails. What do you have to do on a day-to-day?
Okay, well, CBL is a son, I will say like that, from two big companies here in Jamaica, from Pepsi Cola Jamaica and from Red Stripe. And my job is try to maintain the balance between the three of us.
Right.
We have around 500 persons working with us in CBL. We are a company that actually make the sales and distribution for the both main companies. And my job is to try to help the people to drive the job and to try to achieve the results. That's the main game here.
Would you say you love your job?
Yes, definitely.
There's no work without passion, right?
Yeah, definitely. You need to have that because if not, you will not achieve results. That's a fact. I have an excellent team, actually. You know that one person cannot make the things happen.
How did you get started at CBL?
Well, actually, when I was in Guatemala, I am working in logistics and operations part. And part of the owners of PCJ here in Jamaica, they talked with me and they offered the opportunity to come to Jamaica and to try to work with the people in Jamaica to put CBL in a different level. It's kind of different job because here I saw the entire company, not just logistics, and that's a challenge. But at the end, I accept the challenge and I try to make my best.
And so far so good, right?
So far so good. we have a very good 2015. The first thing that we actually discussed when I came in January last year is that we need to join and work together and to try to understand that yes, we have difference. We came from two different companies that have different cultures. Plus that, we need to understand that we have some Jamaican people, some Salvadorian people, some Guatemalan people. We need to put all that together and try to actually extract the best things. In the beginning, it was a little challenging, but now I can say that we are in a better position. We know each other. We know that we need to work like as a team, because if we don't work as a team, we will not help the company to drive the result. Yes. I believe that the people actually start to understand what we need to improve to put this company in the level that we want. We want to make this company the best sales and distribution company in this country.
Right. Well, you know, Jamaica is a Pepsi country.
Yeah, definitely. And when you have the most strong brands together, you need to do something good or excellent to have this one.
Absolutely. Red Stripe and Pepsi, that's a good combo. How do you see yourself affecting change in the industry that you're in?
I will separate in two. One is an internal challenge. That means that CBL just have around 3 years old of existence, and you need to work with the company culture. You need to build that. Plus that, CBL has a lot of changes in the exec team. They start with someone and they change and I come over, and they are trying to face that, and that's a main challenge. We are working on that. We are not in the state that we want, but we are in our way. The other one is the external one. Jamaica, the entire countries in the world haven't changed. Yeah, you have political change now. In the industry, we have that. We have a better competition, different type of brands, different type of products that we need to keep very close, because we want to keep going and to keep doing our job as the first companies here, because like we said, we have the most strong brands in this company. But we need to work every single day to maintain that, to try to say we are the best since 10 years ago, and we want to be the best 10 years move forward. Yeah. We need to learn what is each one of us position, what we need to do in that position to help drive that result. We want to win the gold medal.
Right.
That's the main game, and we want to win consistently, not one time, because we want to be the best. We want to be the best company in this country.
What would you change to make Jamaica more business friendly to our international partners?
Well, I think that as a country, we need to review our policies, the speed of change, the entire change.
Right.
We need to understand that if we don't open the country to the different variants that we have in the world, we will have troubles to connect to the world. Because at the end, we are in an island. We need to maintain our connection with outside, but we need to give them the confidence that in Jamaica we do the things correct, excellent, in the best way, trying to achieve the better results. And if we can put that in our people, in our Jamaican people, we can change. And we can be the best, because at the end, I live here. I am a Jamaican.
Right.
Definitely.
You're one of us.
Yeah.
What are some tips that you can give us on changing countries, on changing cultures, on that whole migration process to make that, smoother?
Well, I can say that one, you need to keep your mind open. You need to know that you need to learn, not the other one.
Not the other way around.
Because you are the new one.
Exactly.
You are the new kids on the block. You need to learn from the people. You need to find good people that you can learn from them and to try to understand the entire environment. I want to learn from this country. I want to know places, people, culture, traditions, all that kind of stuff. And food, for example, we have a different type of food also. And with that, we need to work with that. I need to understand that I will not get a tortilla here. That is a very common thing in my country. But I will get some jerk chicken.
Right.
And I need to work with that, yes.
Okay. Well, speaking of lunch and food, I think we're going to be having lunch outside on the terrace.
Perfect. Okay, thank you very much.
Coming up.
We can have maybe between 10, 12 or 15 persons running for the presidents.
We only have two.
And for
it's a
me,
problem.
Yeah, but imagine that. You can realize there.
Yeah, I can't imagine the political tension then if it's 12 to 15 parties. Wow.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Stay current and gain more information on the ever-evolving industry of real estate on Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Hi, my name is Diane Plomo and I'm the Managing Director for Your True Shade. So the program that I participated in was Creating Wealth, and it would give viewers an idea of the different processes in Your True Shade, taking the products from the raw materials to the production and then finally to the consumer. Being on Business Access TV has definitely impacted my business because since the feature was aired, I got a lot of calls asking about the products, where they can get products, and asking additional information as well. Another thing that I did was to actually link the video to my social media posts so that persons can actually learn more about the brand. So for persons considering BATV, I would definitely recommend it because you will definitely see the payoff for it. Persons will definitely be interested in finding out more about you as well as your brand.
Roberto, talk to us about your childhood.
I born in Guatemala. I raised in Guatemala City. I am the second of third.
Okay.
I have a big sister and a young brother. I play football, basketball, volleyball, whatever you name it, I can say.
So you're very active then,
yes,
obviously.
Yes, and I like the music. I like,
Music.
Yeah, I play the drums.
Oh, you play too?
Yes, I play the drums.
What Roberto, you doing a whole heap of things.
Yeah, I play a little bit guitar.
Okay.
But the drums is what's my thing.
That's your thing.
Yeah, I can pass 4 or 5 hours.
Just playing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, so tell us about your family.
Okay, I have a wife, Maria Jose.
She's also from Guatemala.
She's also
Okay.
from Guatemala. I know her in a church. We was a couple just like 1.5 years, and then we decided to get married.
Okay.
Very young. We have three children.
3?
They are my life, actually.
Obviously, yeah. I guess the oldest one would have experienced the change most significantly. You know, how are they adjusting?
I said to them that maybe I am the most interested to get back to Guatemala. Not them. They are happy here. They are doing
You're the only
a
one.
lot of things here. They have a lot of friends. They go to the related houses. My wife have a lot of friends. They spend a lot of time doing
So everybody
PR.
has adjusted well.
Yeah, they are the PR people. I'm working here. They are the one that are actually making
But that's
progress.
nice to know that everybody has settled in well.
You have a very beautiful culture.
Right.
We are good here. Actually, I love to be here.
I'm so glad that you've enjoyed your experience so far. What would you say are some of the other differences then between Guatemala and Jamaica?
The weather is different.
Yeah.
We can start with that.
So you guys are cold out?
Yeah, we have a lot of, for example, volcanoes. We have some active volcanoes.
Active volcanoes?
Yeah, yeah. Guatemala is an Spanglish. I will say Spanglish.
I was
Why?
just about to say Spanglish meaning
Yeah.
Spanish and
Yeah,
English.
we have a lot of influence from the American culture.
But the language spoken in Guatemala is Spanish. Okay.
You can realize that the people use a lot of English words to merge with the Spanish thing
Right.
and drive the conversation like that.
Right.
But we are a country that speaks Spanish, but we also have 22 dialects
Okay.
separately. When you talk about politics, we can have maybe between 10, 12 or 15 persons running for the presidents. You need to
As
pick.
in political parties?
Yes, yes.
10, 12 and 15?
Yes.
Oh, we only
Yeah.
have 2.
That and
And
for
it's a
me,
problem.
yeah, but imagine that. Yeah, you can realize there.
Yeah, I can't imagine the
How much?
political tension then if it's, 12 to 15 parties. Wow, wow. All right, now on a lighter note, would you like to share with us an embarrassing or awkward moment that you've experienced, maybe in Jamaica or otherwise?
Well, yes, I have one. This was my first town hall with the people on CBL, with the company. In my intention to actually share something with them, I tried to put an example using Usain Bolt.
Oh, no, it's Usain.
Nobody get that. And I start to sweat because I don't get the connection. Nobody knew what I'm talking about. Simon Tacter, who is my HR
Right.
director, came to me and said, "What do you need to say?"
What are you trying to say?
And I show the script. Oh, it's Usain Bolt.
And I'm sure it would have connected if people realized.
Yeah, I need to start over the entire thing because I need to connect and to make the sense on this, but we are used to in Guatemala and Central America to name it like that. It's
Right,
Usain because
right,
it's in the
to
Spanish
pronounce it.
in the Spanish sense, but that's for
Not
me
here.
awful. It's
Yeah.
awful because to connect to the people,
Right, you need to
actually-
say it the way we pronounce it, right?
And actually, that gave me a hard time, but at least I learned
But you're
something.
adjusting, you're
Yeah,
adjusting,
I
and you
learned- I
learned
learned
something.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Roberto, thanks so much for taking us to your chill spot. I've enjoyed the day. Running, it was like the perfect day. You run, you do some exercising, and then you eat some good food, right?
Yeah, definitely, yes.
So thank you very much.
No, thank you, Candy. Thank you for having me. And for me, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to share this with you and to have this experience in Jamaica.
Thank you. Great food, good conversation, and a little bit of physical activity pretty much sums up how I spent my day. Thanks, of course, to Roberto Gallardo, Managing Director at Celebration Brands Limited, for sharing with us how he spends his leisure time. And until next Friday, I'm Candy for Chill Spot. Bye! On this episode of Chill Spot, we'll be spending some time with Roberto Gallardo, Managing Director at Celebration Brands. Wow. So, I start everything with so. I need to stop that.
Hi everyone, I'm Roberto Gallardo from Celebration Brands, and I will be with...
Yes, I will have this thing I can't pronounce. Linguine ai gamberi. So it's shrimp pasta.
I do have a dream, and I know you have a dream, that we can make Jamaica the place of choice for you to choose to live, to work, to do business.
We are going for the Jamaica we want. Making steady progress to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals in our National Development Plan, Vision 2030 Jamaica. We have teamed up with valued partners, working through strong institutions to reduce inequalities in our society. We commit to being responsible in our production and consumption, ensuring we build sustainable communities in harmony with nature. Jamaica is making significant strides in providing quality, lifelong education for all, enabling our people to be engaged in decent work to drive economic growth, equipping men and women with the skills to build resilient infrastructure, promote sustainable industry, foster innovation, and utilize new technologies. Urgent action is being taken to manage natural resources responsibly, protecting clean water sources, ensuring access to water and sanitation for all, diversifying to alternative energy sources, conserving our environment and sustaining life below water and on land. Jamaica is making moves to ensure healthy lifestyles for the well-being of our people. We're promoting sustainable agriculture to achieve food security, improve nutrition, and end extreme hunger, putting in the work to end poverty in all its forms. We're on track in achieving our Sustainable Development Goals through realizing our Vision 2030 Jamaica. We will leave no one behind.
And I'm chilling right now, cause we're winning right now.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life. Delighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
Ambassador CARICOM has always welcomed the support of Finland and its Nordic colleagues as we combat the existential threat of climate change. The passage of Hurricane Dorian through the Bahamas 10 days ago vividly illustrated the effects of this phenomenon.
Secretary General, Finland wants to make European Union a global actor in combating climate change. Here we have a challenging agenda that needs to be analyzed together between European Union and CARICOM to secure a better future for our children. Dear Secretary General, it is indeed a great honor to represent Finland in CARICOM. Thank you.
Ambassador, even as some of our nations seek to strengthen financial and economic resilience through diversifying into financial services, they are confronted by the continued blacklisting by the European Union as high-risk and non-cooperative jurisdiction. This is despite the fact that the countries in question are not so listed by the Financial Action Task Force, the globally recognized regulatory authority. We hope we can count on Finland in its capacity as chair of the Economic and Financial Affairs Council, ECOFIN, in the EU, to afford us the opportunity to engage with Council on this issue. I must thank Finland for its continuing support of the region's meteorological services since 2010. The collaboration between Finnish Meteorological Institute and the Caribbean Meteorological Organization improved the region's capacity to analyze weather conditions and communicate early warning. Is an important partner for the Caribbean community. We have made steady progress since the establishment of formal diplomatic relations in 1997 with the accreditation of your country's first ambassador to CARICOM. We have established, as you mentioned, a joint commission to promote and develop closer relations between the parties in political, economic, environmental, health, scientific, and technical fields. Indeed, at this time, we are in consultation with member states with respect to your proposal for a meeting of the Joint Commission in November. Earlier this year, the CARICOM Development Fund was the beneficiary of $1 million grant from the government of India, providing further evidence of your country's contribution to the region's development. This gesture is highly appreciated, and I sincerely thank your government on behalf of the entire community.
Excellency, the presence of a large Indian diaspora in the region and traditionally close relations of the member countries of CARICOM with India is a very important factor in our relationship. India and CARICOM member states, with our convergence of views on many global issues, can play a very constructive role in the international fora. I convey to you sincere gratitude of my country for the support which we have received throughout the years from all the CARICOM member states in various elections with UN bodies and international organizations. Count on CARICOM support in United Nations restructuring, including expansion of the Security Council and India's claim for a permanent membership of the expanded Security Council.
Ambassador Srinivasa also underscored the value of trade between CARICOM and India, expressing optimism that the Joint Commission can meet soon.
Excellency, immense opportunities exist for India and CARICOM member states to further enhance bilateral trade, particularly in the fields of agriculture and food security, health and pharmaceuticals, small and medium enterprises, marine development, and oceanography and disaster management. India's bilateral trade with the CARICOM member states during the previous year was about $674 million.
He said the Honorable Prime Minister of India, His Excellency Mr. Narendra Modi, will be meeting with the heads of delegations from CARICOM member states on the 25th of September in New York on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly for the first ever India CARICOM Summit.
Studies have shown that for every dollar spent in resilience building, 7 is saved in reconstruction and rebuilding costs. It is why we are advocating strongly for small island and low-lying coastal developing states, SIDS, such as our member states, to access the necessary financing prior to the onset of disasters to enable us to become more resilient. However, the continued use of GDP per capita as the principal criterion for access to concessional development financing is a major impediment to our cause. This criterion disqualifies many of our member states, including the Bahamas, from access. We strongly believe that vulnerability should be the most appropriate measure of SIDS eligibility for concessional development financing, especially as it relates to building resilience against climate change. How can a country such as the Bahamas, having suffered more than $1 billion in damages from natural disasters, in 5 years not be eligible? Last week, I accompanied the Honorable Alan Chastanet, Prime Minister of St. Lucia and Chairman of CARICOM, and the Honorable Mia Mottley, Prime Minister of Barbados, on a visit to the Bahamas for a first-hand look at the damage wrought by the storm. The scene of devastation and destruction on Abaco Island and Grand Bahama was heartrending for all of us. For 4 of the last 5 years, the people of the Bahamas have had to face the wrath of major hurricanes and the consequences. The physical, psychological, and economic trauma the people of the Caribbean face annually as a result of climate-related disasters is unlike any other region in the world. As small emitters, we are the least culpable in actions which encourage climate change, and yet we are its perpetual victims. It is more than time for meaningful action.
In other news, the Caribbean community continues to tackle the issue of gender-based violence as part of its wider crime and violence prevention agenda. Facilitated with the support of the European Union CARIFORUM Crime and Security Program under the 10th European Development Fund, the capacity of education officials in 5 member states will be built to further empower them to address the problem of gender-based violence in schools. Under the theme, Rethinking Masculinity, Understanding Gender Equality as a Means of Ending Gender-Based Violence in Caribbean Schools, 5 country workshops have been slated for Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Jamaica, Belize, and Suriname. On Thursday, 12 September, the second of 5 workshops opened in Georgetown. Speaking at the opening of the workshop, CARICOM Secretariat Deputy Program Manager for Gender and Development, Ms. Anne-Marie Williams, said teachers should be educated as to the important role they play, not only in prevention of gender-based violence, but also in passing on positive messages through the curriculum, that violence is wrong and that masculinity can also be rooted in peace. The workshop seeks to address major concerns, including the normalization of gender-based violence in the Caribbean based on the findings of a study commissioned by the CARICOM Secretariat in 2012.
It's arguably the most significant invention to come out of Jamaica in the last 2 decades. A medical doctor, a mechanical engineer, and a computer scientist used technology to develop a way to train heart surgeons across the globe more efficiently. The heart simulator developed at the UWI Mona is now being used by several universities across the world to train surgeons. Professor Daniel Kaur, who worked on the project, says after shelving the first prototype and moving on to other projects, he and the other inventors involved received a call that would change everything.
So in late 2007, we heard from Dr. Richard Fiennes, who was at the time chairman of the American Board of Thoracic Surgery. He had seen a video that had been released along with a paper that we had published. And in the video, we were just showing a small clip of what the heart looked like while, in operation, in use. And he wrote to Dr. Ramphal, basically did a little internet search, tried to find him, sort of located an email address for him at UWI, by which time he had already left UWI, and wrote him and said, I saw this video, is it real? Because if that's real, I'd love to come to UWI to see it, and would you be willing to set it up for us, because we are examining possible simulation environment scenarios for the cardiac surgery training, and this is something that we would like to sort of take a look at just to see what it can do and whether it's good for us.
After some persuasion, the team decided to go to the University of North Carolina to set up the prototype.
First time set up, right? So all these prominent heart surgeons had just come in to take a look at what's going on, and everybody was kind of blown away at just how realistic the heart beating was, and how realistic the whole environment was. So they took out the video footage and took that to their annual meeting that year at the Society of Thoracic Surgeons. And with that video at that meeting, just sort of, caught the eye of everybody who was at that symposium that year. And that ended up getting us invited to technology symposium for cardiothoracic surgery. And we got re-invited year after year.
Soon after that, the UWI Mona developed Heart Simulator was a sought-after tool when it came to training heart surgeons.
It then got to a point where other places wanted one. They kept saying, how can we get one of these at our institution? So it was kind of around that time, that was started around 2009, that we started talking about how to get multiple ones of these. And by around 2011, we'd actually built them. So in that interim, we had negotiations, sort of thought about how to sort of make it a little more structured and sort of help ourselves get to the point where we could be talking to people who might want a license.
The simulator then ended up in some of the top medical schools in North America, revolutionizing the way heart surgeons were being trained.
Harvard's Mass General Hospital, University of Rochester, there was a University of North Carolina, Johns Hopkins, Vanderbilt, Mayo Clinic, University of Washington, and Stanford.
This was the first time ever heart surgeons in training were being exposed to real-life circumstances.
Kind of what I mentioned before, where you might have the pig's heart in a bowl, or I suppose if you're working with a cadaver, which is going to be realistic, but it's a dead person, but nothing where the heart is, or actually a live pig. That is the closest that you could come if you wanted to get a full-blown operating room scenario where you are standing around, there's a apparently living, beating heart, and you have to give the right instructions, and you have somebody controlling a pump, somebody controlling anesthesia, and then you have your partner in front of you, you're supposed to be giving the right instructions, and you're learning not just the specific procedures, but also the management of your team. The only way you could really reconstruct that without having a real patient on the table was a live pig. That was the closest you could come. So what our simulator was providing these guys with was a context in which they could reconstruct any scenario they wanted, when they wanted, at the time they wanted. So from the purpose of teaching, if today's lesson was to teach you something that hardly ever happened, they could make sure it's scheduled what's going to happen because you set the simulator up to deliver that. So for them, that was a great opportunity to change how training in cardiac surgery could work, right? And at the same time, you're getting this high fidelity model, right? So you're not putting any patients at risk. You have this model that looks real. It bleeds when you cut it. It has a pressure. It shows you a computer trace that looks like it's a real trace on a monitor. So for all intents and purposes, just because you set it up, you know it's not real. But for all intents and purposes, it looks like a patient on the table.
The heart simulator has not only used technology to totally revolutionize the way heart surgeons are trained, but it is also helping to better equip surgeons to deal with real-life situations in real time.
There are some well-rehearsed procedures, as in over time, they've developed some procedures to respond to a particular kind of emergency. But if you as a resident only get trained via the operating room, then the only scenarios that you become familiar with are the ones that you see. Now, of course, if you see 100 cases, 200 cases, then you start thinking, okay, you're ready, you're competent, you can go and you are going to be certified as capable of practice on your own. But what if the scenario that we're worried about isn't one that occurs so frequently? It might be 1 in 1,000 cases, it might be 1 in 2,000 cases. Those are still potentially life-threatening. You still want somebody who is going to now become an attending to know how to deal with them. And in the old situation, before our simulator, the only way they would have really gotten that exposure is through a textbook or somebody telling them, if you ever encounter this is what you're supposed to do. So it's kind of a hypothetical, and the response is really a kind of theoretical response, or it's a hypothetical one anyway. With a simulator, we can now say, okay, next week's lesson going to be how you deal with this. And I can tell you what you must do, and I can set up the simulator to make that emergency occur. So while you're doing your thing, suddenly something happens and you say, what's going on? And it's for you to A, recognize that there's that emergency going on, and then B, act appropriately. So you can actually now practice that, which is not something that you could have done easier before.
The heart simulator is the first UE patent to be commercialized, and with the recent commitment from Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke to pump more government resources into research and development, it is hoped that more patented inventions coming out of the University of the West Indies can be commercialized.
Now presenting the Jamaica Social Investment Fund ICDP Enterprise Development Project. Entrepreneurial Grant Business Pitch.
This project is a $100 million grant that's seeking to target 50 small and micro business enterprises and give them training, capacity development, equipment, permits and license towards the development and the viability of their business. We have made a call for proposal in March of this year for entrepreneurs to submit for the opportunity to receive a grant between $1 and $5 million. We received more than 500 applications, and so we have now shortlisted them to 100. So we've invited that top 100 applicants here today, and they're going to have to pitch their business idea to a panel, and of the 150 will actually transpire and win the opportunity for the grants. One of the primary objectives of what we're doing here is employment. We want the business to be able to sustain not only the principals as the owners, but we also want the business to be able to employ at least 2 people. The next part of it, as we do in all of our projects like this, is it provides a learning instrument of how we can engage small and micro enterprises and take them to the next level.
Why we're doing this rigorous process, because we want to identify the best potential entrepreneurs to fund for this project. And keep in mind that we are speaking about a loan, so we want to ensure that the applicants are committed, and that from a sustainability point of view, that upon receiving the support from JSIF, that in 2 or 3 years, the enterprises will still be operational and the broader objective of the project would be achieved. Once we have now equipped them and they should be ready to start the production and going, we'll then have a mentorship component.
It has been a very competitive process. Jamaica is filled with persons with drive and passion. We're expecting that the best will be selected. And then for those who are not successful, we are also hoping to link them to other providers of services, because I'm telling you today, from what I've seen, it is an excellent, excellent, excellent opportunity. It's worthy of note that many persons coming here today already have some kind of semblance of a business, but they need the additional support to move that business to the other level, as well as some persons that come in with just proposals to start from scratch. On behalf of the JSIF, we want to really thank the DBJ and other partners from UWI who came to be part of the panel, and just to remind you that the JSIF is here and we're investing for community development.
I wanted to be an educator because I believe that education is the most powerful weapon that can change the world.
My dreams and aspiration is to one day become an entrepreneur where I can employ other persons and help to build the country.
I wanted to go into development. I wanted to help people become better versions of themselves. Growing up, I saw a lot of violence, I saw a lot of crime, I saw a lot of poverty. The challenges are so many. The first one that comes to mind is the level of youth unemployment that's here.
Challenges that exist here in West Prospect Bogwalk are lack of awareness for educational opportunities or job opportunities.
Not many got the chance to do CXC or graduate from the secondary level. So that's a major setback for the people living in the community.
A way to alleviate this issue is training programs.
They need more opportunities, like to go back to school to get themselves a certificate so they can be able to work and create employment for themselves and their family.
Push more entrepreneurship opportunity, encourage these youths to be creative and innovative in what they do. Give them startup capital to start their business. Invest more in the youth skills and talents.
The Poverty Reduction Program is funded by the European Union, and it really is a program that focuses on the most vulnerable type of communities, making communities safer, making citizens more healthy, better access to education.
For European Union, investing in youth is an obvious choice. They are the future of the country. If we prepare them well, they will bring the change that Jamaica needs. That's why we invest in scholarships, internship, training in life skills and mentorship.
I received a tertiary scholarship from PRP to attend the University of Technology, Jamaica. It meant a lot to me because I realized that somebody else believed in me and somebody saw the potential that I have and somebody believed that I could actually achieve my goal.
I benefited by getting firstly an internship, and also they assisted my bachelor's degree financially. But critically, outside of the finances, the persons that were on the project, you know, the motivation that they provided, etc., it really provided a huge boost.
This is my third year at the MICO. This scholarship, it helped me to be able to focus only on my education here, because tertiary education is not cheap.
I was placed at ODPEM on the one-year internship program. It was really good. It was an opportunity for me to prove myself, to give myself a service, and also to gain experience in the working world, and to also provide for my family.
I plan to be an agent of change in my community by being a mentor, a leader, and a godfather for the youths growing up
try to help them, teach them a trade.
You don't have to be rich to help. You don't have to achieve greatness to start. I contributed to my basic school by providing them with the necessary resources that they need, that I believe that in the long run, it will have a ripple effect on many, many persons.
Professionally, I manage the whole program, which is aimed at giving young persons the opportunity to, do what I did, basically, to get their foot inside an organization. Additionally, I also have a little small business that I try to employ young persons to learn a skill, etc.
When you're persistent in life, when you're determined, when you're hungry for success, then you'll be able to accomplish and achieve anything that you want.
It has changed hundreds and hundreds of lives. Not just my life, my family lives, my friends' lives, etc. I want to just urge everyone looking on to continue these social programs. These are the solutions to the many ills that we face as a society and as a country and even as a world. So thank you, and I challenge you, continue it. It's needed.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Sundays at 4:30 p.m. It's all about Home Sweet Home. Get your half-hour dose of the business of real estate, from laws and concepts to reality, building, buying, or renting. Or what about trends in decor or renovations? Home Sweet Home will keep you up to date.
Our women are the backbone of our society. They deserve to be protected and respected. Domestic violence is not okay. Speak up and speak out. No more violence against women.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show, and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV. Serious about business.
On The Good Life, we'll take a look at our very own castor oil and why it deserves a place in every home. We'll talk to Joel Harris of Shavat Farms, and then later on we'll visit Somerset, Manchester to see castor oil production done the old-fashioned way. Stay with us. So we did a walkthrough of Shavat Farms, and now we're here with Mr. Joel Harris, who's the marketing director and co-founder of Shavat International, and he's going to talk to us a little bit more about his business. Mr. Harris, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Great. So talk to me about Shavat International. What is it that you guys do?
Shavat International is a manufacturing and brand Shavat, the brand Shavat. And Shavat means harvesting goodness. What we do essentially is that we take all natural, authentic Jamaican products and we turn them into unique products. In other words, we take them from the ground, the farm level, and we turn them into agro-processed products. So in other words, we turn them into value-added products that we can share with Jamaica.
We're here today to talk about castor oil and how you go about producing that.
Well, first of all, let's establish the traditional method of Jamaican black castor oil dating back for centuries. It's a Jamaican culture, enriched culture product that persons take by harvesting the seeds from their farm or from their backyard or so, like your grandmother would know and so. And after harvesting, the seeds are then dried. And they would roast the seeds until they have a dark charcoal, not charcoal, but dark, very dark in color. When the seeds are roasted, then the seeds are taken into a mortar. And if you go back to your history, you know, the pestle and the mortar, when you have your grandma making the curry and then grinding it up into the mortar. No, when that happens, they then take the grounded seeds, the broken seeds, and then put it into a boiling process. And that boiling process helps now, exactly, so the oil and water doesn't mix, so the oil, of course, rises to the top, and of course, the trash or so is sinks to the bottom, and then you will have person have a ladle and then scoop off the oil, skim the oil. And that oil is then filtered through like a muslin cloth or so, and then when it's cooled down, it's bottled.
Well, castor production here is a growing industry. Why did you decide to get into it?
Well, women, we've been hearing a lot of demand from women wanting to go on natural. And one of the products that were on the market was Jamaican black castor oil. By the time we knew nothing about Jamaican black castor oil, we were in tea production. It was way out of the range for us. And what we decided to do was like, you know, this could be a potential for us. So we asked women, what do they like, what you don't like, how you use it, you know, what about day, type of night, treatment usage, everything. And we got positive response, and they was wanted authentic Jamaican black castor oil. The problem is that there are so many different countries producing Jamaican black castor oil, and it's not from Jamaica. And we said, you know what, we want to make a difference in the industry. Let's produce an authentic, recognized brand of Jamaican black castor oil. That's how we started.
You've been on the market for some time now.
Yes, we've been in the market for about 1.5 years with our Jamaican black castor.
What has the feedback?
Positive, very, very positive. What happened is that persons love Jamaican black castor oil, but they don't like a pungent smell. Like women have to be washing what they hair tirelessly just to come outside. And so we figure that by monitoring our roasting levels and the temperature that we adjust to our castor oil, we find that we're able to adjust that smell. So it has a nice lighter aroma that persons actually can adjust to. And persons can just rub into their hair and just walk outside and have no problem. That's our main key factor with our Jamaican black castor oil. This heavy on this, light on the scent, but same great quality, no additives, no preservatives. No salt is found in our products, so your hair won't be falling out. And it's on the go. We sell it in a 4-ounce bottle. You can find it in Fontana pharmacies. You can find it in Discount Beauty, Earth Elements, and Shearer's Hermer, and other major beauty care salons as well as hair care. We export to Australia, we export to the UK as well as the US. And there have been growing demands around the world for other for Jamaican black castor oil. Of course, persons are asking, what else can you do apart from Jamaican black castor oil? Putting it in a shampoo or conditioning format or a body cream or a body butter. So we have been getting an overwhelming positive feedback and response for Jamaican black.
Have you done the grandmother test where you give it to an old lady and, you know,
yes,
how does this compare?
We have. And persons have a feeling of nostalgia. Persons who are abroad, so yeah man, this is the real Jamaican black castor oil, remembering the smell and so, and the texture and the feel. But of course, you know, them kind of a shriek because back in their days, they don't really put it in them hair, they use it as a washout. And of course, they would be going and they'll be giving it to their kids, and their moms would have been giving it to them, and they're thinking, using it for drinking. So no, it's just for personal hair care use. We say to people that yes, Jamaican black castor oil have been traditionally being used for internal purposes, but we heavily recommend that you do not do so, and it's for external purposes. Just because, one, we don't want to be persons to rush into the hospital because of accident or anything like that. But we say that it is best to use for external purposes.
We had visited your farm earlier, and it's quite a sizable farm. Talk to us about your farm and what type of labor force goes into such a farm.
Right. We grow on 150 acres, and we also buy from other local farms. Currently to date, we had production up to 80 acres of production. Now, our castor is grown organically. That means no additional fertilizers, no chemicals. What we do is, of course, that we do weeding to make sure the land is clear. We dig up the land, of course, and the soil to make sure that the soil receives the seeds properly. And we plant in times where we expect rainfall. Now, additionally, what we also add is drip irrigation. That also balances out the times when there are periods of drought. Now, the castor plant is resilient, but is not fully drought resistant. So, without enough water, it will hamper the amount of yield that you'll get from the castor plant. Now, the castor, 1 acre of castor will produce about between 1,200 to 3,000 pounds of castor seed. What that means is that if without irrigation, you can expect between 1,000 to 1,200. With irrigation and some amount of natural fertilizer, maybe chicken manure or even this compost, you can increase those yields nearing to 2,000 pounds per acre. Now, it takes about on average 2 to 3 workers to complete an acre, feasible acre within a day. When it is mature, the pods are mature, is then hand-picked and harvested, and then placed into large carcass bags. There it is weighed initially, and the weight is usually, you get between maybe 30, 40 pounds maybe per bag, a bit more, depending on the bearing, clusters and stuff. And from there it is then taken into a large laid out tarpaulin, a large drying area. And of course the seeds are then laid out, the branches are laid out, and then they're waited until the green pods turn brown, dry and crispy. From there it is then taken into a hollow that removes the shells from the seeds. So the seeds are extracted and the pods are then, the waste is then extracted. And from there, it is in the process now of turning from the seeds into Jamaican black rice.
All right, so we've discussed with Mr. Harris his castor oil factory and the farm, but you have to stay with us because when we return, we have our Need to Know segment and you learn all about the benefits of using castor oil.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with
the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
There's only one recommendation for funding that is ever going to come from me, and that is funding from a bank.
This is the cost to build, and it includes every nail and screw for the building.
Our motto is building communities, building a nation.
Get in the know with the world of real estate with Business Access TV's Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m.
Welcome back to The Good Life. We are still here with Mr. Joel Harris of Chavot Farms, and we've been discussing castor oil production. But before we continue, check out our Need to Know segment. Castor bean trees are originally from India, but today they can be found in Mediterranean areas. And in Jamaica, they can grow just about anywhere. According to the Guinness World Book in 2007, castor bean plants were the world's most deadliest plant, as seeds contain ricin, which is poisonous when ingested. Castor oil is also said to be helpful with sunburn, wrinkle removal, menstrual disorders, and migraines. In addition, the ricinoleic acid found in castor oil is able to inhibit the growth of bacteria, yeast, and viruses. You touched on the benefits of castor oil usage earlier, but let's go through some of those again.
Right. Jamaican black castor oil primarily has been used for hair growth. So persons who have thin hair or want to grow their hair very, very long, naturally use our product, Jamaican black castor oil. The other benefits that persons don't really know about, but we love to introduce to people, is that one, it actually helps with acne. Persons have used it for acne treatment and have seen positive results. Rub it on the unaffected area over time, and persons have seen results. Of course, with all of our stuff, we don't have any claims to it. And I say that as a 100% guarantee. Right. But we're all using testimonies of persons who have had acne before and you have used it on their face and have seen results. Persons who have experienced razor bumps with shaving and so on have used it and have seen a better result and a smoother skin. Persons, for example, who need antifungal treatment on particular areas on their feet or whatever, have used Jamaican black castor oil for that as well. Persons who need to go back with their eyelashes or their eyebrows, especially if they are shaved too thin or falling out, and I've seen again positive feedback, positive results. There are other uses that persons have used Jamaican black castor oil for. Those tend to be the minor uses, but the major ones have been used for hair growth and for skin. Have been to smooth the skin. Persons have used it for stretch marks. So there are multiple uses of Jamaican black castor oil.
So with all the benefits that you just mentioned, what makes your black castor oil more potent?
Well, one, it starts from the farming stage. We grow our stuff organically. Second of all, we monitor the temperatures and the process. The reason being is that if we just stick to the traditional route of just roasting it in a spit fire and then boiling it without proper measurement of temperature and of course regulating the amount that we do at a time, we wouldn't know how to make sure to capture the full potency of the Jamaican black castor oil. So our unique process allows us to monitor it in a way that we capture the full potency that Jamaican black castor oil has to offer.
So talk to us about pricing. How do you price your oil?
Okay. Now, normally on the market, you will see Jamaican black castor oil sold between $1,000 to $1,500 a bottle, plus GCT. Our prices ranges from $800 to $950 per bottle, plus GCT, making our product very competitive on the market. Currently in Jamaica, there are industries that are being declined, such as like the sugarcane industry, the banana industry, the coconut industry. Because of the potential and the minimal costs in producing Jamaican black castor oil and Jamaican farming of Jamaica castor trees, we find that persons find Jamaican black castor oil production to be lucrative. As of such, there has been a growing interest, and we do expect the market to continually grow. The thing is that the interest is there, it's just to have a unified effort in being able to be established as like an association that able to disseminate the information on how to grow, how to produce, what's the best practices, and of course have a unified body to say this is Jamaican black castor. So it's a very valuable business.
All right, so thank you, Mr. Harris, for talking to us. I'm sure we've learned a whole lot about not only castor oil, but castor oil production. So what do you know about the old-fashioned way of making castor oil? We take our final break here on The Good Life. You don't want to miss this when we return.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, Fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents will say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands!
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
I am Mrs. Richard, Esmeralda Richards, and I grow castor oil for a living. Yes, and everybody call me Miss Babes as a pet name. We are in the parish of Manchester and this little district known as Somerset. I'm a castor oil grower. I grow castor oil. I manifest it to market. I've been doing castor oil for a few years, long time, from I was a little girl. Because when I come up, my grandparents used to do castor oil. So we just come up and engraft it. Like somebody buy it from me, use it, and they get the benefit and they recommend it to somebody else. And then the news spread around. Sometimes they send an order it. But right now, somebody ordered 2 quarts from me for about 3 or 4 months back. Somebody coming from foreign want it and send an order it, and I now me have it at the house. We prepare the ground, and then we dig the hole, and then you put the oil seed in it. And by 21 days, they grow, and they grow up to be a big tall tree. And when they reach about 3 months old, they start to blossom. And they blossom, and then the oil start to put on. Yes, and a few months after, then the oil ready. So the oil, when it is fit, and when it fit, it dry. And then you just break them, get them dry, and you ox it out. Okay, you dry it, and whenever time you're going to process it now, you wash your castor oil, you put it in the sun and it dry. Then you take it up and you parch it. You make up the fire, put on this pot on it and you parch the castor oil. And then you parch it now, you put into a mortar and you beat it until it becomes smooth. Then after that now you put on a pot on the fire with some boiling water, put it in there. And the pot been boiling, and then you turn until you see the oil begin to come up on the top. When the oil come up on the top now, you skim off those oil, skim it off, put it into a next pot, put it on the fire again, and then it boil out until you see the natural oil. Until you see the natural oil, then you strain your oil and begin to bottle it up, ready for market. This is how the castor oil beer. This one is young. And whenever time they get fit, the color change. The color change. This one is still young. This one come into the market. You see how we have the dry one on it? So whenever time they get dry, we just break them off and take them home and then shell it out. And then you have the grain, the seed then ready for the markets. You see, some people buy the grain. Right now I get from the grain, I get $200 a quart for the grain. But whenever time I boil it, on the little flask bottle, I sell it for $1,500. If you did ever see these trees, when they were in the bloom, it was a beauty. Every car pass stop and look at it. It was so beautiful, but because they get old now, that's why they look like this. A gentleman buy a flask of it from me for his wife. And him say, if you ever see him wife here, what beautiful black color here. Yes, man. Some people, when they parch the oil, they make it burn. When I parch my oil, I don't make it burn. You know, I don't make it burn. But when you parch it and it get dark and you beat it, you get that black castor oil. But I don't make my own dark, you know. I like the clear color. And I sell this bottle now for $1,500. And 4 of this fully quart bottle. Sure, I should sell it for $6,000, but anyway, I just sell it for 4.
Yes, I'm Robert Richards, a young farmer in Somerset District, Manchester, cool Manchester. The main problem you have with castor oil is marketing. Marketing of the product. Once it comes to perfection, to get it marketed is the biggest problem that farmers face. That's why you find less young people are interested in it. Castor oil grows your hair. It's good on the root, the scalp, everything when it comes to natural hair. You find most people into hairdressing and stuff, they want castor oil. But the problem is to get it to them. It's good for your skin too. And I've been told you can eat it on salads. Just a little, just spread it across your bread and not too much, but it can be used as some dressing for your sandwiches or whatever. So just like you'd have your dish dryer, the trash from it does an excellent job. Making fire to run mosquitoes, you know, just the smoke off of it runs away the mosquitoes. You know, more time you have things around you that is very valuable, but because it is not out there like that, people tend to, you know, young people would more be like going into a pharmacy and get a tin of Vaseline than castor oil, which castor oil will be more beneficial. Even for lotion, you can subsidize some of the lotions for castor oil. It's good for your skin. It preserves the skin and everything. You know. Rashes and all of that. You have a burn, you just pass a little castor oil over it. It heals. Toothache, bad teeth, swelling. Castor oil draws that down. So there's a lot of other stuff that, you know, castor oil does. Research have been shown, and we have all seen that we all need to go back to back then, because things that, you know, manufactured stuff that are artificial isn't good for us. We need to go back to our roots and our culture, and castor oil is the way to go. So go castor oil, go.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
We are back with another exciting, innovative, and inspiring season.
It takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness, being consistent and persistent in whatever you're doing. That's the bottom line.
Business exists to add value to people's lives. And if we're not doing that, might as well we lock down the store and just call it a day.
It's a season 3 of Creating Wealth, Mondays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
My name is Christelle Harris. You're watching Business Access TV. Serious about business.
With their precise mechanical movements, robots seem to be the hit thing. But have you ever thought about their existence? Well, it's said robots have their origins in the ancient world. The modern concept began to develop with the onset of the Industrial Revolution, which allowed for the use of complex mechanics and the subsequent introduction of electricity. This made it possible to power machines with small, compact motors, and in the early 20th century, the notion of a humanoid machine was developed. Today, it's now possible to foresee human-sized robots with the capacity for near-human thoughts and movement. This week, we explore the field of robotics on Career Moves.
I am Dr. Dave Muir. I'm a lecturer and subject leader within the School of Engineering here within the Faculty of Engineering and Computing at the University of Technology, Jamaica. Well, robotics is a very multidisciplinary field. It includes several areas in which you can actually approach robotics from. There's the whole area of computer science, which is, of course, because a robot is a programmed device. There's the electrical engineering, it involves mechanical engineering design, and other areas, even areas in the arts, actually come into making the complete robot. Robotics engineer, based on my definition, would be somebody who is, of course, actively involved in the development of robotic systems, and I will extend it and say also automated, as I say, systems. When we talk about automated systems, we are simply saying any system that you encounter that is automatic, that requires minimum human intervention, is an automated system. And we love robotics so much because we see robotics as one of the ultimate expressions of an automated environment. Robotics is a very exciting field. The history, well, we could start with UTech right here. We have been actively participating in international competitions where we actually build robots and actually represent not just UTech but Jamaica at the international scale in robotic competitions. So this all started back in 2001 when we actually built our first robot and we entered a competition back in, I think it was South Carolina. This was all with us partnering with the Institution of Electrical and Electronic Engineers, which is the largest technical professional society in the world. So we actually have a student branch here, very, very vibrant, active student branch, which engages in these activities, you know, in order to, of course, build their skills and competencies in the areas of robotics. So right here at UTech, we have a very rich history of robotics, and products of our robotics programs are like, for example, Kim Roy, who has done very well and represented us well. Well, there are several robots that are out there. I certainly can't list all of them, but some of the main ones that you may have actually seen, of course, are maybe robots that are actually used in search and rescue operations a lot. Robots that are actually used for that, maybe for detecting bombs. There's a famous robot that is actually used, that is the Mars rover, that is presently out there now, that is actually exploring Mars as we actually speak, and actually relaying images down to Earth to give us information, etc. So these are some of the very popular applications. Also, there are robots that are used in healthcare a lot, and of course robots that are used a lot in manufacturing, which here in Jamaica is where it is that we want to go in terms of seeing how it is that we can apply more robots in our manufacturing systems and make the whole processes become more efficient. There's several software that is actually used in actually developing robots. As a matter of fact, there are several stages. There's the design stage, and then there's the build stage, and software is used at every stage. One of the main software that you'd probably be interested in, of course, is the one that is actually used to actually program, let's say, maybe the brain of the robot. Because at the end of the day, of course, the robot is really just a computer-controlled device, and it's executing a particular program. So there's software that is used heavily to actually program, give the robot instructions on what it is that it is to do. There's other software that is used, for example, like maybe CAD software that is involved in the physical design of the parts that actually make up the robot, etc. And there's several other software that may involve in actually testing the robot. For example, in terms of its movement, in order for you to optimize its movement, might require software to actually help you in those design stages as well. So it heavily involves software tools that are actually out there, some of them free as well, that we can utilize in order to really develop the area of robotics here in Jamaica. Common functions that I had mentioned, of course, earlier, what they can think of, especially in the manufacturing environment, is things like, for example, welding is something that is very common. Things like cutting, things like parts assembly, especially you'll notice that the robots deal with like assembling electronic circuit boards, high speed and accuracy. There are robots that are here in Jamaica right now that are actually, for example, packing pallets that I'm actually aware of too. And the list definitely, as I say, goes on. So the bottom line, to address a question like this is, anytime there's a task that is very, very repetitive, but needs a certain level of accuracy still, then most likely there's a robot that can take over, as I say, that task.
My whole life I prepared my son to lead humanity in the fight against the machines.
In my mind, no, robots will not necessarily take over the future. Again, it's going to be the strong human intervention and the intentions of the humans who are driving and programming the robots. That's, if there is any takeover, it will be from the human side, but not the actual robot itself. The robot being a programmed, as I say, device, it requires, of course, our input, as with any computer system, in order to carry out its tasks effectively. Yes, there are several technologies that are called, for example, like learning technologies, wherein the robot adapts, etc. But it's not going to reach a point where it takes us over. No, we are the ultimate. Inherently, what will happen, of course, is that some jobs, with where it is that we want to go, some jobs will have to be lost because we want to achieve a certain level of efficiency, productivity, and all that, right? So, as with any one of our fields, we have to be lifelong learners, we have to constantly retool, and we also have to be sure that we are the ones that are behind, as I say, the technology, because robotics will also add new jobs as well. You're going to need programmers, you're going to need people who to actually build the robots, you're going to need people who, what we call, have to develop like the tools that the robots actually use, etc. So there will always be space as well for new jobs being created.
And a lot of time I get this, boy, if you have a bunch of robots around the world, you're gonna take away jobs from humans. But let's take the sewage pipeline that is blocked. Who would want to have a human being going down into that sewage drain and clean all that muck? Certainly not me.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Well, I never really have that in the planning still, but the way time hard, I know work hard to get on them thing there, but if that's your only choice, I have to learn it and do it, don't?
Yeah, you mean? Yeah, man. Make money night.
I think it's a male-dominated field, and we as females need to come out and shine also, because if not, we may do better than the males in such a career.
If it's something to help out the human race, instead of we use our muscle and we would use our brain, it would be wonderful.
Well, personally, I wasn't actually had an interest in robotics. You know, my occupation or profession was more geared towards accounting.
I would probably suggest more like economies abroad, like the US or otherwise, because they're more developed and therefore can facilitate your such a aspect as robotics.
No, because Satan think them, the world is coming to a end. They say the tablet them when I issue in school, those things are kind of, them say good enough to help school people, but after a time, it's going to mash them up because demons think upon it.
Hi, my name is Kimroy Bailey. I'm a roboticist, the CEO of Kimroy Bailey Robotics, and the founder of the Kimroy Bailey Foundation, a non-profit organization chartered to teach students how to make wind turbines and robots. A robot is a simple device, normally automated. It has 3 core parts: input, processing, and output. These devices are able to assess their environment, process the information and make a decision to execute a specific set of tasks. Robots don't necessarily have to have arms and legs and all of that as we would normally see them in the movies. A simple wheel device that moves around, let's say it takes food from a server and it brings it to the client, that can be a robot as well. The core job of a roboticist is to find a need, find a niche where automation will make life easier. And a lot of time I get this, boy, if you have a bunch of robots around the world, what does the human do? And you're gonna take away jobs from humans. But let's take the sewage pipeline that is blocked, for instance. Who would want to have a human being going down into that sewage drain and clean all that muck? Certainly not me. And from that perspective, you could create a robot, you could send it in the drain, you could search for those obstacles, those debris, it can move them, suck them up, gather them in a bag, and move back to top, clear it, and on to the next one. I've been a student at the University of Technology Jamaica, where I studied for my bachelor's in engineering. We entered through the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, IEEE, the world's largest professional engineering body. We entered our international robotics competition. In 2010, Haiti was devastated by an earthquake, and a lot of persons lost their lives. Then we had designed a robot. It was called an earthquake rescue robot. It was capable of going in a building, searching for victims and stating their conditions, whether they're alive, unconscious, or dead, and where in the building were they located. That really sparked the fire, and I realized that Jamaica could be a hub that make robots that push the world forward. At the University of Technology, courses like software in engineering, computers in engineering, the programming courses, the electrical classes, drives and machinery, instrumentation and controls. These are all core subjects that sense the principles. Courses like mechatronics that taught you that a robot is a mechanical and an electrical device, and these two core components are integrated as one, and that's how you have the feel of mechatronics. So after you leave in the University of Technology, one of my greatest accomplishments there was placing second in the world for the global research competition. In that competition, I built a tropical storm robotic wind turbine. This was a wind turbine that maintained production during a tropical storm. And thereafter I thought about it, and I was like, I don't want this research to just sit on the shelf of a library in the beautiful UTech. I want it to be implemented, to be on the ground. That's when I created the Kimroy Bailey Foundation. We now have a community center that's totally 100% renewable, and through this facility we're hoping to teach students the basics of robotics and automation, and it's really to get students to love science all over again. We see science as it's for the nerds, you have to be a genius to do it. It's a lot of fun, it's a lot of energy, but when you see those parts moving and coming to life, that's what our camp does. We make science come to life, so you see the movements of science.
In the School of Engineering, we have a few degrees. We have the mechanical engineering degree, we have an electrical engineering degree, we have a chemical engineering degree, an industrial engineering degree as well, right? Of the ones that I've named, the ones that are related to robotics, again, because it's so multidisciplinary, most of them would have aspects that are related to robotics. So for example, like the industrial engineering degree, right? What it is that they're doing is that we're actually training students wherein they can operate in a factory environment wherein the robot would be a part of the production line. So they'll be able to design that whole production process with the robots in mind and ensure that that process is actually optimized. So they will get exposure from that angle. The electrical engineering student, specifically the student that does instrumentation and controls, which this is the lab, that's one of the main labs in that area, would be responsible for directly hands-on actually building the actual robot itself. Right? When we think of the actual robot, again, if you want to think of it like a computer system, right? There are sensors that gives information to the robot. The computer has to process that and then provide certain outputs, whatever it is that we're interested in, just speaking generally. So the electrical engineering, particularly this student that's been exposed to control systems and instrumentation, has a good idea of the technologies at every stage of the way, right? So they can provide inputs, they can manipulate these inputs and get the desired outputs that you want. So an area like electrical engineering, and also the mechanical engineers too as well, would be heavily involved in the actual physical development of the actual robot itself. Moving on to the mechanical engineering side, when we think of the actual housing for this, for the robot itself, right? This is where the mechanical design actually comes in. The choice of the materials, the weight, the calculations, if I'm going to lift something, right? What amount of energy is required in order to lift it, etc. The mechanical engineer comes in and does this level of design. So you can see we're in different aspects in our programs, right? Students are definitely exposed. There are direct courses, like for example, the industrial automation course that deals heavily with robots, but then there are aspects in other engineering modules that we do that will be related to it. Basic requirements, of course, there are the in order to enter our 4-year degree program. We're talking about like maybe CAPE units of like math, probably maybe physics and chemistry, and we were flexible as well. I mean, there's a standard entry for A-level entry, etc. But there is also room for persons I want to mention who what we call need a mature entry. We have what is called a prior learning assessment, wherein persons who are out there who might actually be at a particular skill level could actually put a portfolio together and say, hey, I'd like to enter this, and the university takes them, assesses them, walks them, holds their hand and walks them through and see where it is that they can actually fit into our programs as well. So there's a standard route, and there's also routes that are not so standard but are also working in order for us at the end of the day to really educate our workforce. The diploma is 3 years, and the bachelor's is a 4-year program that we have here. But I must add to that is also, it's modular as well, and in our semesterized system, again, it depends on the load that the student can carry, etc. It could actually even be less than 4 years, right? So it depends on the student. The first thing that you need really is just a fascination. Have a fascination with the technology, be curious about stuff that are actually around you. Don't just be, what I'd say, maybe consumers of the technology, but go further and see how it is that you can go within the technology and explore what is actually happening. But in terms of skills, of course, basic computing skills doesn't hurt, math skills, some electrical skills doesn't hurt. Somebody who is good with their hands can do mechanical stuff, manipulate mechanisms, that type of stuff will actually go. So somebody who uses their hands a lot and builds stuff, somebody is interested in building stuff. With hands-on person, I mean, this is the field, as I said, for them. Because at the end of the day, when you see all these mechanisms that I'll show you that are here that we actually put together, you can see it involves several different skills and disciplines actually coming together. But the core ones are what I mentioned are, for example, definitely the computer skills, the electrical skills, because a lot of it is circuits, and of course maybe the mechanical skills, as I said, to put the whole mechanisms together to achieve that goal that you want.
The job outlook is pretty good from my perspective at least, and again, to a great extent, being the owner of a company, I pay myself and it's rather comfortable.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Roboticists work in 3 core departments. You could decide to concentrate on input devices, where your job is just to research and explore the world, how you can have the robot access as much information from its environment as possible, how it knows when an obstacle is moving. You can concentrate on processing, where you don't care about the input nor the output so much, but how the information is gathered and how you process that information and make a decision. And output, do you want the robot to walk? Do you want it to have wheels? Do you want it to have legs? If you're having legs, do you want a knee and an ankle and all that details? So you can concentrate on output, just how the robot gets the job done. So these 3 components is where roboticists can look to concentrate or enhance their disciplines. It's an emerging industry, and what you realize, you have a number of small business owners, small entrepreneurs that have probably a very small manufacturing space, and they just want to know, what are my employees doing, in which room are they occupied, how can I automate my machinery instead of being able to man it 24/7. And we can step into those industries or companies, automate those processes for them, and move on to the next one. And with that, we're not displacing employees, we're just increasing efficiency and product output. The job outlook is pretty good, from my perspective at least. And again, to a great extent, being the owner of a company, I pay myself, and it's rather comfortable. Seeing the fact that I do have a full-time commitment to the Wigton Wind Farm, I would go to work from 9 to 5. I come home and start working here from 7 to 9. So it's for 2 hours per day, per week, Monday to Friday. On a Saturday, I'll put in a full day's work, probably an 8 hour, etc. And from that side entitlement, you still are able to bring home a comfortable amount of money. We're still able to employ 5 persons and compensate them accordingly. And we're still able to invest in machinery and equipment and expanding our reach and building our brand. You really have to be aggressive at managing your time. A robot is a very complex being. You need a team that is eloquent in their various disciplines. You need to know the strength of your team and the weakness of your team. With that said, you need a nice balance of those persons from everyday life, because at the end of the day, you're not making a product for an engineer, nor a specialist, nor a doctor. You're making a product for a person, and they have to like that product first. The field is certainly not fully utilized at all, and with what is happening definitely today, when we look at emerging stuff, for example, like the logistics hub and what is happening, the technology requirements that are actually there, etc., it's not fully utilized. In terms of us developing our workforce to meet the international demands of logistics hub, right? We have to ensure that what it is that we're doing, we're fully utilizing these different skills and competencies, because this is what is going to be needed. This is how the world is operating. And when Jamaica bids to become the 4th logistic hub of the world and to compete at an international level, this is directly what it is that is actually required in order to compete. Right? So the skills aren't fully utilized. I'm aware of, for example, there are companies down by the wharves now wherein if you can't troubleshoot electromechanical systems like this and the ship is delayed, then it's like maybe $20,000 for like every 5 minutes or something like that, some crazy figure, as if you can't do stuff like that. So these skills that are there aren't utilized at all, and we definitely need to utilize it more. We need to encourage more people to be a part of this thing and so, because the opportunities are there, and I'm very, very positive that more opportunities will come in order for us to get to where it is that we need to get to.
There's a market in Jamaica, but a part of it will involve not just maybe us, but also maybe the entrepreneurs, us linking more like maybe with the business schools and stuff, and really looking at those niche, as I say, areas, right? I see a lot of people struggling in terms of local manufacturing in order to really achieve what it is that they actually want. They feel that the solution is always maybe to go abroad and get a new piece of equipment, when the solution might be right here where it is that we actually are, but it's just for us to come together and meet their needs. If you have an interest, start to hone, as I said, that interest. Find an outlet somewhere where it is that you might have common, people with that interest, and try and build that interest. And also, in terms of your fascinations, I always go back to the fascination, because you have to have a fuel that drives all of this. And I always say to myself, the core fascination that you actually have, you have a core fascination with the technology, explore it. Definitely don't stop here. We're not limited being a third world culture or so, because everything that is on the internet that fascinates you is right here. So reach, as I say, and go for it. Talk to people, find mentors, you name it, they are there and willing to assist.
You know, the sun rises in the east and setting west. So basically we wanted to put it at the central position so you can get the most sun.
Robotics and automation is a very difficult field. It's very challenging, to say the least. One thing I'd encourage students is believe in yourself. Think of a product, preferably a product out of this world, something that it's very hard for you to achieve. And why such a difficult product? Why should I not say do something easy and then you build your confidence? With a very challenging product or a very challenging robot comes the task of how am I going to make this possible? It makes it dig deeper, and when you have those moments of giving up, just place your hand on your heart. And when you feel those pulses, when you feel that heartbeat, you know that that is purpose. That is purpose deep inside of you, and never ever give up until you reach that finish line. You can research things online, you can ask questions on our Facebook page. We encourage innovators and entrepreneurs to share their views. Also at www.kimroybailey.com, we have a guiding footprint for persons who want to walk my shoe or even be greater than I have done in robotics. Just to check it out, see my university story, how I transitioned to become who I am today, and know and believe that this little country boy from the hills of Trelawney could go to Seattle, Washington, USA and place second in the global research competition and awarded by IEEE, the world's largest professional engineering body, outplacing Pakistan, New Zealand, Australia and America. Then you know you can do it too. You surely can.